Welcome to another episode of Was It Good? I'm Ravi, joined as always by Krishna and Arjuna. Mr. Michael sits over there in the producer's chair. Today, guys, we're talking What If Episode 3. A wonderful episode that shows us how far Disney and Marvel have gone to recast a lot of their actors in this animated show.
Scarlett Johansson is a different actress.
Well, Black Widow is a different actress.
She's just ScarJo.
So Scarlett Johansson, a real person, is played by an actress?
How do we know she's real?
How do you know
She could be part of the simulation.
Oh, my God.
They say she had a baby, but does anyone really know?
Jim, this is 2 episodes in a row now that you've brought up simulation. Do you want to?
Is there something you want to tell us?
I don't know.
Did you see the light?
Tell me.
Oh, my God.
Me.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. Stop it. Guys, one-word impressions to kind of recap this What If episode.
Shoot.
I'll kick us off. Tiny Ant-Man. Nope, that's a
not
whole
one word.
sentence.
You want me to go
Tiny
first?
Yeah, you go first.
Melancholy.
Ooh.
That's my one-word impression.
And
I
why?
end my turn.
No, explain yourself.
Yeah, explain why are you going melancholy?
I would go with melancholy just because the mood and the visuals of this episode were very melancholy.
The sad?
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Do you want to also give the definition of the word too, to kind of?
Well, as it's spelled
So,
out,
Ravi.
as it's spelled out here, melancholy. This is melon that likes to go call Lee.
Oh my God!
Yes. A melon's a fruit?
I thought it was a fetch. I'm kidding.
But I'll go with melancholy just because it's a darker episode for sure in terms of some of the content that happens. With basically, spoiler alert again, the Avengers all die, and some in very gruesome ways. The Hulk literally explodes.
I'm not gonna lie. I laughed.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I was like, this is ridiculous. he exploded like a. I don't even know what did
like
he
in a
explode like?
it felt very kind of like Roadrunner.
Yeah.
Type of death.
Yeah, it felt like Acme.
Yeah.
Acme animation.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, what the. What
But
is
it was,
going on?
but still, like it's darker tone. Like you have a lot of characters that do die, and there's definitely it's a sadder mood. The reveal at the end too, with it being Hank Pym because he lost his daughter. This kind of revenge type of aspect to it. It kind of just gives it this melancholy feel that I wouldn't say is par for the course for MCU entries. They're normally bright and colorful and fun and witty. And you have obviously some jokes and some wit here. Like it would be really strange if you didn't, but this one overall is just more melancholy.
You said melancholy like I think 10 times at least.
Melancholy.
I'm taking the over.
You taking the over of that?
He said 12 times.
Oh, wow.
Should we do a social clip where I have it explained and we have a little counter?
Probably. I don't know. Christian, do you have a one-word impression for this episode?
I think mine's gonna be Loki.
Loki. Why
'Cause,
Loki?
Correct me if I'm wrong. It sounded like Tom Hiddleston.
It was Tom Hiddleston.
It was Tim
Tom.
Hiddleston,
And,
yeah.
He's
well,
on
he-
the budget.
He's in good favor with Disney and Disney Plus.
Also,
and
how
all
hard
that.
can it be, right? You just grab him after shooting a couple of Loki episodes and like, hey, just get in the recording studio here and
They actually
record
just-
some lines.
They just stitched his audio together.
Yo, there you go.
Yeah, even better.
Yeah,
even better.
That's efficient.
Anyone
use of time.
remember Chef from South Park?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what
God.
they did.
Yeah,
last.
for his final episode.
Yeah.
They literally
Impressive.
stitched his audio from it. And this is like 04,
Yeah.
03, like almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Now it's better. It could be even better.
Wow.
Well, you can use like machine learning now to fake someone's voice. There was a whole thing that they did with, I think it was both Key and Peele, or maybe it was just Keegan. Was it Keegan? Where which one does Obama? Peele.
Jordan Peele.
So Jordan Peele, they showed like machine learning and fake deep fakes and all that fun stuff, and then also introduced like a voice thing to make it sound like Obama, which is kind
Oh,
of crazy.
That's
So,
cheating.
I mean, I wonder if studios can do that.
Sure.
Probably.
Sure.
That would be the dream for a studio where they just don't actually need the actor anymore.
Didn't they do that for Leia? Is in Rogue One, like the voice that she says, "And now we have hope." That must have been all fake, right? Some kind of
Yeah, it's probably like some type of impressionist who did a pretty good impression, and then they could utilize that with old audio of Carrie Fisher.
Wow. Words are
Just
hard.
like merging it together.
Are-
Words have been very hard.
Is somebody like controlling and merging your clips right now?
Well, I think it's the simulation failing right now.
Isn't it still better to just have an impersonator do it though? Like somebody
You'd
just
think,
can do
but-
the voice.
I'm sure the dream for a studio is like, do we need real people?
Oh man.
Can't we just put in the information in a computer, poop it out, still get the same amount of money, not pay anyone?
So your one word, Krishna, is low key.
Yeah, Loki.
Loki.
He killed it. Still kills it.
Wait, are you saying the character or like the phrase low key, Key?
No, it's one word, so it's got to be Loki, as in the character, the character.
The character.
The character. Yeah, he's great. Once again, and as soon as he appears, it's his voice, very distinct voice, very distinct way of delivering his words. So he's what stood out the most to me in the episode, and like he was both it was a very familiar part of this episode from Marvel Prime, if you will, right? In fact, I would say of the 3 episodes we've seen so far, that feels the most familiar, I think, right? The first episode, obviously, Peggy Carter.
Carter.
Peggy Carter.
Oh boy.
AKA, Peggy Carter and Captain America Switch. And the second one, T'Challa has a whole different timeline. Thanos is, good. This one, Loki comes in. He is the god of mischief. It's Tom Hiddleston. It's the most familiar part, and I latched onto that immediately. So, Loki.
Interesting.
Loki.
This one felt like, I guess our interpretations are different, but this one felt like the least MCU-y.
Oh, yeah,
to
for sure. For sure. But Loki is the one element that I've seen so far that has felt the most MCU. Because it feels the same.
This to me, so for my one word impression, I want to go. It's difficult because I can't think of one word.
I'll help you.
Let's hear it.
Is it difficult? Is that your one word?
I'm just gonna go with forgetful.
Forgettable?
Forgetful.
Or is the episode forgetting something?
No, forgetful.
Forgettable?
Forgettable.
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 You forgot about the episode.
Yeah, it was.
Not that episode forgot about you.
Maybe. And what I mean by that is it just because it was playing off of all of like the intro movies of the Avengers, with the Hulk, with Thor, with Iron Man. Again, another actor who did not come back, Robert Downey Jr. I mean, that one makes sense.
Yes.
That man is probably
$7 billion.
Very expensive.
I'll do it for $100 million.
Yeah. So I thought it was kind of forgettable because you've already kind of like seen these movies, right? You know what happens, and the whole premise of the episode is kind of like a murder mystery, essentially.
Sure.
And murder mystery is like once you kind of know who's done it, then it's just kind of like cool, whatever. Like you don't really feel like necessarily going back and rewatching it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Just because it's like I know who's done it, but then in terms of like the attention to detail,
Yeah.
that's the part where you're like, well, it doesn't, whatever. Like who did do.
I feel like you can also pick up pretty fast on like at least a core set of characters that it is pretty early on with, the first murder being Tony Stark's. There's the needle, and they say that it looks like something was tiny and kind of exploded through. So you're like, okay, it's Ant-Man, Pym particles, so it's probably Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Or, some version of Ant-Man or someone involved with that. You're like, maybe they'll do a huge twist where it's someone else. But likely not.
But it was a twist.
You know what's also weird? You know what's also weird? When I go back and like I'm remembering the episode, for some reason, that YouTube series, How It Should Have Ended. And you know how they have the kind of like blocky style animation?
Yeah.
That's how I'm like remembering the episode for some reason.
The ending is goofy.
Yeah. And I think that's why it's like the whole thing just felt kind of, I'm the bad guy. Like, just goofy.
So to recap the ending, it's finally revealed it's Hank Pym. Hank Pym donning the yellow jacket armor. He wants revenge on Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. because they recruited his daughter and she died in some type of
freak accident,
field mission or something, and now he wants revenge of like, you guys aren't the heroes, your whole Avengers initiative is stupid, I'm gonna kill everyone because of that. and you think it's this confrontation he's having with Fury, but as you kind of hear Fury talk, you realize this isn't Nick Fury at all. He's actually fighting Loki. They have this fight. Loki takes him down super easily because he is a god, and Hank is literally an ant. So
Wait, he turns into an ant?
well, he's Ant-Man.
No, he's literally an ant.
He kills him,
he's a
right? In
human.
the end?
He doesn't kill him.
Oh.
They just apprehend him,
And then Loki invades.
and then Loki invades. Correct. It's the premise is honestly interesting, and like when the episode started, I'm like, wow, they're like killing the Avengers.
Yeah, it's
like,
cool.
This could be cool, and I thought the execution, and really the second half of the episode, really just felt like fart noise. Felt flat, you know. It was just a.
That's all you heard? Maybe you were farting, and that's what ruined
But
it.
it almost felt like the opposite. Like if you think of like episode 2, right, where it felt like there was more detail put into thinking of every consequence, to
And
every
yeah, more of the
action.
idea of like the what if.
And this one just felt like more like it just felt thrown together pretty quickly.
This one felt like a Saturday morning cartoon in the sense of like we need a villain, we need to like very basic storytelling, and
Right.
like we just need to get there as quick as possible and be
Yeah.
done with it.
And they
that's
didn't-
what this felt like.
and maybe there was more explanation there, but at least from the watch when I watched it, it just didn't feel like having it be Hank just didn't feel like a great justification, and I was just kind of like left.
who
Wait,
would
why though?
What do you mean why?
Didn't they justify why he would do it? Like, wasn't his motivation?
it
that
just
his
doesn't
daughter
make
died?
sense. Like
Kind
I
of.
don't know. Like
What?
why didn't you
Kind of.
just go after? Why didn't he just go after Nick
Like
Fury?
why didn't he kill Fury directly?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he blamed Nick Fury. He's like, "I'm going to kill your initiative first, and then I'll kill you." You know what I mean? It feels like that. It feels Saturday morning cartoony,
Yeah.
where it's like,
Yeah.
But
I'm
we
going to
we
do
said we
this.
said multiple times that's what this show is. It's a Saturday morning.
To a
cartoon.
degree, but
Coming out
like
on Wednesday.
But what I'm saying is, like on the opposite spectrum,
Mm-hmm.
the episode before this felt more thought out,
Yeah.
and this one just felt more of like
Undeniably,
we have a
yeah.
cool concept of we're
Yeah.
going to murder the Avengers, and now we're going to reverse engineer it of
right.
how do we make it fit.
Yeah.
And that's why I was just like, whatever.
Isn't the Avengers Initiative kind of like Fury's daughter?
Yeah.
You take
Um,
my
It's
daughter,
like
I'll
it
take
caused
your
the greatest
daughter.
amount of pain. You take away the thing the person
I wouldn't
loves.
say that like I wouldn't say it's like his daughter or like something he cares like
about
like it's not his like life's work, if you will.
Isn't it?
No, because the whole thing with Nick Fury as a character is he's a number of different plans and
His
plays.
secrets have
He's got secrets all over the
So,
place.
but that's the thing.
Like,
if this life is a secret,
Yeah.
the only thing that Hank could figure out that he might care about is the Avengers Initiative. So yeah, I know it's a stretch. It is
Yeah.
very Saturday morning. It is very much like a megalomaniac.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's why I liked it because it was simple. It was like to the point. It wasn't trying to be more than it was.
It's
Goofy.
just-
it was
it was
goofy.
very
It was
goofy,
goofy
yeah.
as hell for sure.
right.
For
Who
sure.
are,
But
are
I just
you-
I wish they had like. It felt like they presented in the first half of the episode where they're being killed methodically and in these different ways.
Yeah.
That there was more to it, and then it just kind of, like I said, fell fart noise.
Did
it was
you-
just like a
do you have somebody in mind that like who would you have wanted to see as like the villain? Like
I don't even
can
know.
you? Like, that's the problem too. Is like
It's
I'm
hard
sitting here
to
thinking, like,
it's hard to.
Who else could you have
It's
done?
hard to disconnect now that you've seen the episode. And again, like you knew pretty early on that it was someone in the Ant-Man world.
Well,
like,
well,
a
yeah, you know
Pym
someone in the
particle
Ant-Man
person.
world, but it had to also be somebody tied to Shield that would know
Yeah.
of the Avengers.
I thought it was a
Initiative.
Hydra thing, honestly. Till when we when it first started.
What if like it was because obviously there's an arc where Captain America actually joins Hydra and dons like a Hydra uniform.
Yeah.
Like how that would have been pretty cool if like Captain America just shows up and is the one that took them all out. Or like
That'd be
maybe
interesting, yeah.
this world worked in a sense that Nick Fury found Cap first, brought him back, and then him and Cap were together going through and recruiting the Avengers like Tony Stark, etc., and the Hulk, but he was all along part of Hydra, and then that's your reveal of Hydra's within Shield,
Right.
and it ends with Fury. That would have been kind of cool.
Or how about this for a possibility? Who's in the DC? Who's the guy being played by John Manganiello or Manganiello?
Deathstroke?
Deathstroke. So does Marvel have a Deathstroke equivalent of a highly trained assassin to take out the Avengers specifically? I know Deadpool and Deathstroke are sort of similar, but I mean in terms
Who
of
was the villain in Black Widow? What was her name? Taskmaster is probably close to like a Deathstroke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because they're well equipped in terms of understanding.
Oh yeah. So that might have been cool.
You
Someone
could
who's
have done
like
was it
highly
Crossbones?
trained-
Right.
Crossbones. Punisher. The Punisher.
Also, I also feel like the more interesting part of like the Avengers being taken out would be like who's like the B team of the Avengers at
The
that
world
time in
falling into
2012.
chaos.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't like I really the mystery of who killed them wasn't that
Yeah.
intriguing. Like especially when as soon as it's revealed, you're like, cool.
Do you think though?
Fun.
Do you think if there's gonna be multiple seasons? So
Right, for sure.
So maybe that would be like the next episode.
Yeah,
of this,
well,
little thing?
for sure, right? You have obviously the end of the episode teases Captain America because he's in the ice and they're potentially reviving him. We got a good cameo from the Captain Marvel pager, which is again Nick Fury doesn't press in a moment of need, which has always been a question for a lot of Marvel fans of like if this pager has always existed, why did he never click it for the invasion of New York, for all these other things?
Ultron.
Maybe he did, yeah. And
Maybe he did. It didn't
Yeah,
work.
and she just never
like,
showed
I'm
up.
busy.
Or maybe or it's possible like he maybe has sent
a
it,
bad time.
and like by the time she got there, it was already taken care of.
Yeah, that's true.
So they go and get coffee instead.
Maybe and they just catch
Oh, I
up.
want a
maybe.
cup of Joe.
But why do you think in this one, like, when things seem so desperate, all the Avengers are dead, Loki is threatening to basically ice the planet, he doesn't actually hit the pager and goes
So
up
yeah,
to
maybe
negotiate
he's
with
got
Loki.
like a B team.
Yeah, maybe there's another team out
He
there
has
already.
a plan B.
Especially because, again,
Maybe
Fury, right? Fury always has backup plans, always
Right.
has contingencies. That would have been more interesting to me, like the B team.
Oh, I know what it is. Snakes on a plane.
Snakes on a motherfucking plane.
That's his plan. No.
So when you compare this to the first two, I mean, for me, my ranking so far of What If is episode 2, episode 1, and then episode 3. This one at the bottom. Where do you guys kind of rank it?
I've gone back and forth on this. I think that's the thing about it. 2 is the best. I'm going to put 1 and 3 at the same level. They both to me are sort of these just fun thought experiments. They're not great. They just kind of show the situation, and that's really it. 2 sort of definitely like elevated it, I think, a little bit. But I wouldn't say one's better than the other between 1 and 3. They just sort of exist on the same level for me.
Yeah, I think for me, 2 is by far the best. It's the most interesting. It's what I want from the show. I think I'd then go probably 3.
Oh wow!
But there's for me, there's a big gap between 2 and 3, and then pretty close is 1. I just felt like 1 is the least creative. Like it is literally just like the first Avenger with a couple slight tweaks.
Yeah.
Like really small.
And this one at least had the interesting premise of like the Avengers dying, and then it fell apart,
and then fart noise.
And
And then
fart
then a
noise.
long fart noise.
But like it's 2 up here for me, and then it's 3, and then it's 1.
3, 1. I don't know if you saw his hand move, but
Do you guys have any like favorite or least favorite parts? I mean, for me, I think it's kind of cool that we got to see and hear more of Agent Coulson. He always does
Phil.
I
he
mean,
should have been the killer.
that would have been cool. Yeah.
He's so boring and bland. You could have been him at the end, and he's just like, I had to kill them. Why? I don't know. I don't know. Just something goofy.
I just had to. You know what would have been really funny though is if the killer was actually like somebody from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like really just to like piss off all the Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Fans. Just show like I don't know, like what's the main girl's name? The rocker, the rock Quake. Yeah. Like
hell's
Quake
Quake?
shows up to be the villain.
She's
That would have pissed like the Agent
Agents
of
of
S.H.I.E.L.D.
S.H.I.E.L.D.
stands would have like lost their shit.
Oh man.
That would have been funny.
Yeah. So it's interesting because some people thought like, oh, maybe we're gonna get Deadpool in this and like the mutants and stuff. Because like, what if you can go anywhere? And some of the creatives behind the show were like, we're just gonna focus on stuff we've seen in the MCU. We're not gonna introduce any new elements directly. So people were like a little bummed by that because like it would have been cool. Like, what if it was Deadpool, right? Or like, what if it was,
Wolverine.
what if the B team was like the X-Men, of like the Avengers or something.
Yeah.
Charles
But
Xavier.
we won't sadly be getting that.
That sucks. Did you guys have a favorite part?
Yeah, mine's Loki.
Loki.
Yeah,
so one word impression.
One word. Yeah, it was. I just like I said, I just liked it because it was familiar, and it was great. He's always great.
You should cosplay as Loki.
Why?
It'd be funny.
It would be funny, wouldn't it?
With the crown.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's huge.
Yep.
Like the big, horns.
You can remember me like me so horny.
Me
so horny.
No.
Junior, you had a favorite or least favorite part?
Yeah, just like Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury.
Yeah.
He.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Was it someone familiar or something that you?
Oh, that's good. That's good. Because he was very much his character. Yeah. Again, an unchanged piece in this world.
He was just. But I mean, like the Fury character is always one of the better ones. What do we have? A Zemo over here?
Oh my!
Yeah, let me start dancing.
Wow, I forgot about the Zemo.
He could have been the killer.
Zemo would have been good.
He would have been a good one. He'd
been great.
Oh.
No, you've been great, Captain Falcon. Not Captain Falcon like from Falcon Winter Soldier or Falcon, but like Captain Falcon from the
Nintendo?
Super Smash Bros. Game, and he just does
Nintendo.
Falcon Punch.
But yeah, it's just always nice to see Nick Fury, and then we know that we're getting more Nick Fury with the Secret Invasion show, and I don't know if he's going to appear in the next Captain Marvel movie or any other MCU movies coming out, but it's just nice to have him back. He feels like an integral part of the MCU.
And then your least favorite part is going to be the second half because it was a giant fart.
I'll just go with like the Hank Pym reveal.
Yeah,
Like,
same.
It just felt fart noise. Yeah, the Hank Pym fart.
The hard
Hank Pym fart.
Hank Pym fart.
Pym is with a Y.
Before we get out of here, guys, let's just get on with some reckless speculation where, there are 9 episodes.
9 episodes.
So we're a third done now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I would say I'm hoping that this is the weakest part or the weakest third so far, and it just gets better. We know that there's a zombie episode coming up, which I think will be just fun. If anything, though, it will hopefully inspire a lot of cosplayers to make zombie superhero stuff, which is funny.
Thriller
Yeah, we can do thriller. Exactly, exactly. Indian thriller, not the regular.
Yeah,
thriller.
of course.
How does it go? Dun, 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 dun. Tiddler.
Yeah,
Hey.
It's like short.
Yeah. But what else do we want to see? We said it on the last episode, with Ego, maybe there's going to be more stuff with the Celestials and everything.
Sure.
Do we have, I guess, is there a particular what if that you guys would want to see?
Yes.
And then also, Shang Chi is coming out in less than 2 weeks at this point.
Correct.
Well, actually, I guess when this pod is released, it's actually coming out the next week, next Friday, the September 3rd.
Yeah.
So
Week and a half.
we'll have episode 4 of What If drop before Shang-Chi.
Yep.
You think there'll be any kind of connects or any mention or any? Because remember the other thing, like you said, right? The creatives have said that we're going to do stories around characters that we know.
Correct, and I think they're really focusing on the
have seen.
first 3 phases of the MCU.
Lame. Let's not risk it.
I don't think so, because I don't think they also want to take away the spotlight of like Shang-Chi and having his movie and stuff, and like introducing him in the animated show that probably not everybody is watching or invested in.
Well, also, I mean, with Shang-Chi, right? Like, the big one is it's only a theatrical release for the first 45 days. Correct. Then it will go on Disney Plus. So, there's a potentially half or larger than half of the Marvel audience out there that won't be able to see it for almost, for about a month and a half.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be interesting how that changes the discourse around it too.
You have so many people getting that movie spoiled for them.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
I do have a what if that I'd like to see. And that would be if Tony Stark's Ultron project actually worked. So instead of Ultron going rogue,
right,
it actually does become a protector of the Earth. I'd love to see the consequences of that, the reduction in people's freedoms. So a sort of like,
it's interesting.
and it would tie in so well to what is happening in the real world right now. I think it's always an interesting question, right? Security versus personal freedom, right? And over the last couple decades, that's something that we've been dealing with here in the U.S. at least, and I'm sure around the world as well.
Of course.
So just I would love to see, if Tony Stark actually got his way, it worked. What would have happened to the Avengers? You never have you don't get the Sokovian Accords. In fact, you probably don't even need the Avengers at that point, right? So what happens?
They would be forced into retirement pretty quick.
Exactly. Become a very Watchmen-esque kind of scenario potentially. I think.
I don't think Thanos would happen either.
Why?
Well, if Stark's like whole Ultron program is up and running and working correctly, then it's also
we know what that means is he goes forward with his vision. Does it actually succeed in doing what it's supposed to, though? Do you think Ultron versus Thanos would go in Ultron's favor? Probably not, right?
Well, I don't know, because Ultron's a machine. And like machines have shown us that it's limitless in terms of what they can learn and do.
But they're also limited when it comes against the power of the gauntlet.
Right, but remember, he needs all stones to have the gauntlet,
Correct.
right? I would assume that...
Oh, that's true. No vision?
Yeah, I would assume that... I mean, the one thing that has been leaked or shown is that there is a version of Vision running around in one of these episodes, I believe, with a gauntlet. With the Infinity
I think that's the
Gauntlet.
last episode.
Yeah. So maybe we do get to see what you're hoping
Or
to
something.
see. Some kind of variant of that, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That would be
For me, I want to see a Loki variant just running in the background. Just pop up from the TVA.
Loki or a Kang variant. Come on,
I
Ravi.
feel like we're gonna get
Come
a
on.
Kang, right?
Yeah.
In this?
Yeah, I think
We've
we've got to
seen
go.
No, I don't think so.
Even if it's not like Jonathan Majors Kang, it's like still a Kang. You know what I mean? Because there's so many variants.
Fine, but it has to be like a
Okay.
Kang that like works at a fast food store.
So like Peter Quill. At the
Yeah,
end
exactly.
Of, too.
Yeah, and he's at a McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can they show McDonald's in these shows? I don't think
I don't think they can.
Trademark.
Maybe what's McDonald's but spelled with a W? McDonald's.
Wicca wick wick.
Wow. Judy, do you have one?
What if Josh Whedon didn't direct the first Avengers?
Probably would not be as boring to rewatch.
Wait, that's
nowadays.
hilarious. Wait. So you want them to do like a 30-minute
Avengers?
Zack Snyder
So
Avengers?
I've heard the rumor I've always heard was the first choice to direct the Avengers was Jon Favreau, who directed the first two Iron Man movies.
That would have been so good.
Right? And because he obviously was very familiar with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Obviously, Tony Stark was a huge thing. He brought that character in. Favreau is, a highly respected filmmaker. It'd be fascinating. Also, it would just be fascinating to see the real life implications, right? Like, if Favreau directs Avengers, does he ever eventually latch on to do Mandalorian?
Yes.
Are you sure though?
Yes.
Ravi, that's a very definitive yes.
That's very
We don't
definitive.
know. That's the answer.
You don't know
no,
because
well-
you don't know how many he does.
Right.
You don't know how his relationship with Disney changes. They might not want him to do Star Wars if he's like the Godfather then of.
I don't know
of-
about that
of
because like
Disney stuff.
if you look at where these actors and directors like once they get into the Disney ecosystem,
Sure.
Disney like holds on to them and puts them all like Taika is a really good example
Sure.
of being in the gigantic Disney ecosystem with simple things as he's voice acting, he's directing, he's writing for them, he's also like EPing on other shows like all the way over at FX, like the new Reservation Dogs show, which really good show by the way, like definitely check it out.
Nice.
Very fun.
But if I'm not mistaken, this is how Favreau's journey with Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars goes. He does the first two Iron Man movies, and then he bounces as a filmmaker. He does some of his own stuff.
Right.
He does the movie Chef, all that type. And
Great movie by the
And
way.
he's not under the Disney umbrella for a few years. He gets involved in Star Wars because his buddy,
Right.
Dave Filoni, asks him to be a voice actor in Rebels and Clone Wars and Rebels
Clone Wars and Rebels.
as a Mandalorian character, right?
But real quick, back up. Your statement's wrong though. Remember Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2?
Yeah.
That was under Paramount at the time.
Correct.
It wasn't Disney.
You're right. So you're
Yeah.
right then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he never was with Disney.
Basically.
Oh.
He never was like in
He
that
never
sense.
was with Disney.
Yeah.
He
Right?
signs on for Avengers.
So if he signs on for Avengers,
Right.
maybe probably
that
does.
changes his trajectory of what he's making, and if he's even able to then potentially, he's so busy doing the Avengers, he's not able to do that voice part and then develop the idea of Mandalorian and Star Wars with Dave Filoni and pitch it to I
don't know. I feel like it would have happened quicker.
I'm just saying. Well, I don't know.
I feel like Mandalorian would have been in our lives sooner.
Mandalorian comes out at the same time, but instead of Dave Favreau, John Favreau is Dave Filoni and Zack Snyder creating Mandalorian, and you have a very different show.
This is what I want for What If. I want to see the real life implications.
Why don't you start making you should start making like weird fake like fake news articles. I mean, you can put them on Facebook and they'll take it as real. But you can start doing that. Anywho, let's ask that question.
Oh my.
Juna, you haven't kicked it off in a while.
Ravi.
Maybe ever.
What if the Hank Pym fart? Good.
At this time I'm going to have to say no. It was not
no for
good.
Me, dog.
It's a no for me. Like Arjuna has eloquently put,
Fart
the
noise.
second half was a giant.
Does anyone else find the fart noise, not the smell, just the noise, oddly pleasing?
What the fuck?
Like white noise.
Wow. Christian, was What If episode 3, the exploding Hulk,
Yeah.
good?
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. It's a perfect Saturday morning cartoon, which is where my expectation is for the show at this point. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was goofy and that worked for this episode.
I want to change my answer for reckless speculation. What if Krishna didn't like this episode?
Whoa! I probably would have said yes then.
Wait, but I came after you.
No, you were born first.
Was I? What if Ravi's going first?
What
and I'm
if
going
Krishna
second?
kept his hair? How would that change everything?
You wouldn't let me on the pod.
Yeah, because you would look
I would
weird.
I would look horrible. And you'd be like, we can't have you on this pod. In fact, you would have killed me, and there would be only 2 Ramgo Power Brothers.
Wow, that got dark.
that got really dark.
Actually, no. If Christian kept his hair, we probably would have trained him. No, Christian would have trained himself to be like more familiar with tech in terms of like recording and video stuff, so he could always be behind the camera. And Learman would have joined the pod.
Oh, there you go.
And Christian would have been the full-time behind-the-snes producer.
Interesting.
I would also be like horribly socially awkward because I would have had no friends. Like you couldn't talk to me.
The implication.
No, Lemon, I couldn't even do what you do, which is have a conversation with people. Couldn't do it. Couldn't look people in the eye and be like, I'm sorry for Arjuna, was episode 3 of What If good?
It was not good. Fart noise.
Nice.
There you
Just
go.
say fart noise.
That's all I have to say.
Wow, your shortest explanation
Wow,
ever.
yeah, I'm shocked right now.
Oh, man. And
I don't know what to do.
that's kind of crazy. I think this pod was pretty short as well. One of our shorter ones in a long time.
Woo!
And with that, though, thank you for listening, tuning in. As always, you can find us on the socials, on TikTok and Instagram at Was It Good Pod, on Twitter at Was It Good. We live stream these pods every Friday or Saturday whenever we decide to shoot. On youtube.com/wasitgood. Definitely come in and ask us some questions. Our website is wasitgood.info. Newsletter is coming soon.
Do it, Ravi.
Pod, play us out. When's our next podcast?
Oh,
Check Twitter at Was It Good.
Yeah,
and we'll announce it.
I don't even know.
yeah, it was fine. Yeah, just follow us on Twitter. Goodbye.
He's